So again, we had two changes in signs for f of x. We had one change in sign for f of negative x. So we have 2 or 0 positive roots. We have one negative root. The factors of the constant, positive -1, positive -2 in the numerator. The factors of the leading coefficient, positive and -1. So our possible rational roots are positive and -1, positive and -2. Far fewer to choose here. So let's try synthetic division with 1. We have 1, 5, -8, and 2. So we're bringing down the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 and 1 is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. -8 and 6 is -2. 1 times -2 is -2. And we do get this one to work. And now taking this bottom line, I have x squared plus 6x minus 2, and I want to set that equal to 0. It's a quadratic equation. It's not factorable. I can't get the factors of 2 giving me a middle term of 6x. So you know how to solve a quadratic equation by the quadratic formula. X is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. A being 1, b is 6, c is -2. So I have x is equal to -b, which is -6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, 6 squared being 36, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -2, all over 2a, or 2 times 1. X is equal to -6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 8 over 2. X is equal to -6 plus or minus the square root of 44 over 2. Now let's talk about this as to how you proceed from here. I'm going to break the square root of 44 down into the square root of 4 times the square root of 11, because I'm looking for a perfect square factor. So I have x is equal to -6 plus or minus the square root of 4 being 2. So I have 2 square root of 11 over 2. Now, I'm not dividing 2 into the square root of 44. I can't divide a number that is not underneath the radical into one that is underneath the radical. I can only divide like factors. And I can factor 2 out of the numerator, or I can take a look at this triangle here. And if I can divide a number into each part of the triangle, I can do that. 2 into 2 in the denominator, 2 into the 2 in front of the radical, and then 2 into -6. So I'm getting a solution of -3 plus or minus the square root of 11. And that gives me the other 2 roots or solutions. One is a solution, -3 plus the square root of 11, -3 minus the square root of 11.